For what feels like an eternity, the question lingered. Would this day ever arrive? The crushing heartbreak, the void left by unanswered questions, the sharp sting of losing someone cherished so deeply. But imagine the impossible unfolding. Imagine Borden, the man Amy believed was lost to her forever, reappearing. And imagine in that stunning moment, he isn't just seeking to reconnect with their shared past. He carries something far weightier, an apology poised to redefine everything they understood about love, trust, and the future they once envisioned together. Prepare yourself, because Ty's heartfelt apology to Amy is set to dismantle the very foundations of their beliefs about love and healing. It's a tranquil dawn at Heartland Ranch. The early sun bathes the expansive fields in a gentle, warm light. Horses graze peacefully, their soft hoofbeats on the earth mingling with the whisper of the breeze. Yet something feels different this morning, an undercurrent just beneath the calm surface. The serenity seems heavy, as though the world itself is holding its breath. The land, the sky, the very air feels suspended in anticipation. For Amy Fleming, the ranch, her sanctuary since Ty's passing, now feels like a space caught between memories and an uncertain present. Entering the barn, the familiar comfort of hay and leather greets her, but the ache of years without Ty remains a constant presence in her heart. Days bled into months, months into years, yet true closure never felt attainable. She mastered the art of presenting a strong front for Lindy, for Jack, for everyone who relied on her strength. But in the quiet, unguarded moments when the world wasn't looking, her heart still echoed with the memory of her profound loss. This morning finds her brushing Spartan's mane, the motion rhythmic, almost automatic, a familiar routine to occupy the silence, a shield against the persistent sorrow. Even Spartan seems attuned to the shift in the atmosphere. He lifts his head, ears alert, nostrils flaring. Suddenly, Amy perceives it too, a subtle disturbance in the air, a premonition that change is imminent. She stops, her heart beginning to race, the hairs on her neck prickling. The distant drumming of hooves reaches her, initially faint, but steadily growing louder. Amy stands frozen, her breath caught. She recognizes that sound, that specific cadence, the gallop of a horse, powerful and sure, yet tinged with an unusual urgency. Her thoughts spiral. Could it truly be him? Is this another vivid dream, her mind conjuring the image she has yearned for but dared not hope to see again? She turns slowly, her gaze sweeping the horizon, hope fluttering within her chest, yet guarded by the fear of it being an illusion. And then she sees him. Ty. Initially, he appears almost like a mirage, an apparition conjured from her deepest memories, silhouetted by the morning sun, making him difficult to see distinctly. But as the figure on horseback draws nearer, doubt evaporates. It's unmistakably him. The face she thought she'd never behold again, the man she believed was consigned to the past. Her world seems to tilt off its axis. Her breath hitches. Her hands tremble so uncontrollably she must grip the barn door frame for support. This can't be real. She witnessed his death, mourned his loss, forced herself to move forward because there was no other choice. And yet, impossibly, he is here, standing before her alive. Ty's face, while instantly familiar, shows the subtle marks of time past. Her vision clouds as tears well, blurring the image. She's trapped between stark disbelief and a tidal wave of emotions threatening to engulf her. Her heart pounds violently against her ribs. For a long suspended moment, neither moves, the world around them seeming to dissolve, leaving them isolated in a pocket of frozen time. Nothing else exists. Amy doesn't know whether to rush towards him or crumble under the sheer weight of her feelings. Tears trace paths down her cheeks before she's consciously aware of crying, the grief she's carried for so long finally breaking its dam. Ty, still mounted, observes her with an equally raw vulnerability, his eyes glistening with the unshed tears accumulated over years of separation. His expression reflects the mirrored pain and longing that consumes her. He too has endured suffering. He too has waited. Finally, after an eternity compressed into seconds, Amy acts, not walking, not hesitating, she runs. 2, the space separating them vanishes in a heartbeat. She collides with him, the force nearly unseating him from his horse, but he holds onto her fiercely as if terrified she might dematerialize. His embrace is warm, achingly familiar. The scent of leather and pine floods her senses, overwhelming her. It's too much. Amy breaks down, sobbing against his chest, clinging to him as if he's her only anchor, afraid that releasing him means waking up to find he was never really back. Ty's arms wrap around her, his own frame trembling with suppressed sobs. He buries his face in her hair, his voice thick, raw, choked with emotion, whispering, "I'm here, Amy, I'm here." The words feel dreamlike, too perfect to be true, yet they resonate with reality. He is real. And in this moment, as the world outside their embrace fades, Amy allows herself to believe it too. But the gravity of the situation doesn't permit them to remain suspended in this reunion indefinitely. The ambient sounds of the ranch gradually return, the distant nickering of horses, the gentle rustle of leaves. Still, the profound sense of disbelief permeates the air. Ty has returned. He's alive. But the pressing questions remain. Why? And crucially, what does his return signify for their future? What is the true purpose of his reappearance? Is this reunion the second chance they both desperately need, or merely the prelude to an even more complex and painful chapter? Ty's comeback isn't just about a reunion. It's a narrative woven with survival, concealed truths, and a love tested by the most extreme hardships. Amy's sobs subside, though she remains enveloped in Ty's arms, the sheer intensity of their reunion settling upon them. As much as she yearns to lose herself in the comfort of his hold, the questions start to clamor in her mind, loud, persistent, unavoidable. She finds herself pulling back slightly, her eyes intently searching his face, seeking glimpses of the man she once knew intimately. But there's a change in him, something shadowed, perhaps more broken. This reunion is underscored by an air of mystery, a secret Ty is palpably guarding. "I don't understand," Amy murmurs, her voice shaking as she gazes at him, her heart pounding, her mind struggling to reconcile this reality. "How? Why?" Her voice falters. "You were gone, Ty. I buried you. I grieved you." Ty averts his gaze, his jaw clenching, as if recalling the past inflicts a pain beyond her comprehension. He releases a long, slow breath, and for a fleeting second, Amy fears he might vanish again, confirming her deepest anxieties. Then he speaks, his voice heavy, laden with the weight of years of silence. "I never wanted to leave you." Ty starts, his tone ragged, edged with raw emotion. "I never wanted to abandon our family. But Amy..." He pauses, looking at her with desperate intensity, pleading for an understanding she isn't prepared to give. "I had no choice," he continues, his gaze locking with hers. "What you witnessed that day, it wasn't the whole story." Amy takes a small step back, confusion creasing her brow. "What do you mean, not the whole truth?" she asks, almost dreading the answer, instinctively crossing her arms as if to shield herself. Ty swallows, the anguish stark in his eyes. His hands tremble faintly as he runs them through his hair, a gesture of frustration. "I was shot, Amy. I was near death. Right at the end, there was a chance, a very slim one, that I might survive. The doctors knew the risks, but they had a procedure." He trails off, the memory seemingly too burdensome. The catch was, I had to disappear. Amy shakes her head, disbelief warring with rising emotion. "Disappear, Ty? Why? Why would you?" "They were still looking for me, Amy," Ty cuts in, his voice sharp with remembered fear and regret. "The people who shot me. It wasn't random. Someone ordered the hit. If they discovered I was alive, they wouldn't have stopped. They would have come after me. And worse, they would have come after you and Lindy." His eyes bore into hers, filled with desperate pleading. "I couldn't allow that. I couldn't put you and Lindy in danger. So I made everyone promise to keep it secret, to let you believe I was truly gone. I I honestly thought it was the only way to protect you both." Amy recoils another step, the breath knocked from her lungs as his words land like physical blows. She struggles for words, her mind reeling, trying to process this staggering revelation. "You lied to me," she whispers, the accusation barely audible, as if voicing it makes the betrayal too real, questioning everything she thought she knew. Ty's eyes flood with pain, remorse, and profound guilt. "I didn't want to," he says softly, urgently. "Lying to you was the last thing I wanted. But I saw no alternative. I couldn't bear the thought of losing you both." He moves towards her, hands outstretched, but Amy instinctively pulls away. She can't let him touch her, not yet. Not while this emotional tempest rages within her. They stand frozen in the heavy silence, the weight of unspoken years, shared grief, consuming longing, and profound confusion hanging between them like an impending storm. Amy's thoughts are a chaotic whirlwind. How could he inflict this upon her? How could he leave her shrouded in darkness for so long, forcing her to accept his death as reality? Yet, interwoven with the betrayal, another part of her resonates, the part that never stopped loving him, that still aches for his presence. This part struggles to comprehend his agonizing choice, even as the admission wounds her deeply. But why didn't anyone tell me? She demands, her voice tight with the strain of suppressing tears. Why didn't Jack or Lou? Didn't anyone think I deserved the truth? I could have handled it. Ty. I would have understood. You didn't need to leave me completely alone in the dark. Ty closes his eyes, the hardship of the intervening years etched onto his face. I begged them not to, Amy. I made them promise. Keeping you safe meant letting you believe I was dead. I truly thought it was the only way. His voice cracks. He looks at her, his expression imploring. Can you even imagine how many nights I lay awake, knowing you were out there grieving for me, knowing your heart was breaking? It destroyed me, Amy, every single day. But I endured it because the alternative risking your lives was unthinkable. Amy gasps, fresh tears spilling over, unchecked. You think it was easy for me? Her voice rises, thick with anguish. You think my heart wasn't breaking too? I lost a part of myself, Ty. I struggled to remain strong for Lindy, for everyone, but I wasn't whole without you. Lindy grew up believing her father was gone. I had to painstakingly learn to navigate life without you. And now you just reappear? She gestures, incredulous. You show up here and I'm supposed to simply accept this? He steps forward again, his hands trembling as he reaches for her. This time, Amy doesn't retreat. Confusion still reigns, but her body instinctively leans towards his touch, seeking solace despite the internal turmoil. He gently cups her face, his gaze intense, filled with remorse and unwavering love. I never stopped loving you, Amy. Not for one single second. His voice is low, earnest. Every choice I made, every sacrifice, it was always for you. For Lindy, I swear. I did it because I genuinely believed it was the only path forward. Amy shuts her eyes, tears flowing freely down her face as the conviction in his words resonates deep within her. But the accumulated pain is immense, overwhelming. Her heart feels torn asunder, caught between the enduring love she holds for him and the crushing devastation his actions have wrought. I don't know how we move past this, Ty, she whispers, her voice fracturing. How can I just pretend none of this ever happened? Ty takes a deep, steadying breath, his voice soft yet firm. I don't expect immediate forgiveness, but I'm here now, Amy. I'm not leaving again. If it takes weeks, months, or even years, I will wait for you. I will do absolutely everything necessary to mend this, to mend us. And with those words, a fragile spark of hope ignites between them, tentative, uncertain, yet undeniably present. The path ahead promises difficulty, fraught with unanswered questions, lingering pain, and a healing process that demands time. But for the first time in years, a possibility emerges, the hope that perhaps, just perhaps, their love possesses the resilience to endure after all. The silence stretches again, heavy with unspoken thoughts, as Amy remains within Ty's tentative embrace, tears still marking her cheeks, her heart a maelstrom of conflicting emotions. For years, she operated under the belief that a part of her had perished alongside him, that she had painstakingly constructed a new existence from the wreckage of her heart moving forward for Lindy, for the ranch, for everyone else who needed her. For our family, Amy's expression softens, the vulnerability echoing in his voice, tugging at her heartstrings. She has yearned for this moment for what feels like a lifetime, but its arrival feels destabilizing, shaking the very ground beneath her. Certainty eludes her about the past, about the future, yet one truth remains unshakable. She still loves him, and perhaps just maybe that love is a strong enough foundation upon which to attempt rebuilding. She leans into his touch, closing her eyes for a fleeting moment, allowing herself to absorb the warmth of his hands, the same hands that once held her with such comforting certainty. I don't know if I can trust you yet, Amy whispers, her voice still trembling. I don't know if I'm ready to let you completely back into my life. Ty's face reflects deep regret and longing. He nods slowly, accepting her words without protest. I know, he replies softly, and I'm not asking you to rush. I'll be right here, every step of the journey. I will wait for as long as it takes. I'll do everything in my power to prove to you that I'm not leaving again, that I'm here to stay. For a long moment, they stand enveloped in the quiet, the only discernible sound the rhythmic beating of their own hearts. It feels as if the world itself has paused, holding its breath, awaiting the outcome of this pivotal moment. Amy's mind remains a turbulent mix of thoughts, confusion, anger, love, hope. But amidst the chaos, something else emerges, the faintest glimmer of hope. For the first time in years, she allows herself to entertain the possibility that healing together might be achievable. Ty looks down at her, his voice barely audible. I'm sorry, Amy. I am so profoundly sorry for everything. Amy's tears flow freely once more, but now they are tinged not just with sorrow, but with released tears for an uncertain future, yet one suddenly imbued with possibility. She takes a shaky breath, meeting his gaze, her heart laid bare. I don't know what happens next, she says, her voice almost a whisper, but I'm willing to find out with you. Ty's expression softens further, and a small, hopeful smile touches his lips, the first genuine smile since his return. He reaches for her again, and this time Amy meets his embrace without hesitation. As his arms encircle her, as she feels the steady, reassuring rhythm of his heart against hers, she knows the road ahead will be arduous, filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But she also knows with growing certainty that they will face it together. Whatever unfolds, they will fight for each other. And for now, that knowledge is enough. The sun continues its ascent over Heartland Ranch, casting its golden radiance across the familiar landscape as Amy and Ty stand together, taking the first tentative steps towards rebuilding what was broken. The journey forward remains unclear, but in this shared moment, there exists a palpable glimmer of hope, a burgeoning belief that their love can indeed survive, and perhaps eventually flourish once more. The day unfolds, yet for Amy and Ty, time seems suspended. The rest of the family, having witnessed the reunion from a respectful distance, now moves about the ranch, granting them privacy while their supportive presence remains keenly felt. The magnitude of the moment weighs heavily on everyone. For Jack, Lou, Tim, and Georgie, Ty's reappearance is simultaneously a miracle and a profound shock, an event they never believed possible. Reconciling the image of the man they grieved with the living person before them remains a challenge. But for Amy, the emotions are immediate, raw, tangled inextricably with the years of life lived in the shadow of Ty's absence. She gazes at him, her heart still hesitant, still grappling with how to navigate this unforeseen new reality.